Good evening, everyone. Good evening, all. I'm Vivian. Please confirm that you can see my screen. Hello, can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope you're all well and you've all had a lovely week so far. So today we're just going to be looking at the roles of team members. I believe you're all already immersed in those roles already, but just to give you guys a little bit of a brief overview on everything that you're already carrying on with today. So this section will be looking at the agile roles, the various roles that you're all currently doing. So we'll be looking at the Agile Delivery Manager, the Project Manager, all the roles on the internship today and their responsibilities. And like Laomi said, we'll take questions at the end. So we'll start with the Agile Delivery Manager. An ADM, or for short, for the Agile Delivery Manager, ADM for short, is a role within an organization that focuses on facilitating effective implementation of agile principles. So an ADM works with multiple cross-functional teams to ensure products are delivered in a manner that aligns with the organizational goals. So whatever they're doing, they're always dealing with multiple teams at a time and ensuring that whatever they're actually working on, they carry along the organization's objectives and rules along as well. So they are there to ensure that delivery of projects are actually made. They ensure projects are completed in a timely and efficient manner for both the teams and the stakeholders and the business at large. So mainly they'll be overseeing a whole lot of um, teams that might be carrying out projects as well. So mainly their responsibilities as an agile delivery manager, you are like the agile champion of the team for the team, for the organization. So you lead the transformation initiative of the team. So you're mainly working on the organizational level. You're because of you are meant to like embed agile in you. So when they see you, you live it, you breathe it, you coach it, you mentor it, abiding all the principles of agile in all that you do. So you coach the team so that they know the principles and the values in which you're bringing to the team. You have to ensure that you understand agile and understand all the lean practices and how it works. So you should be able to identify when a team which agile processes would actually fit a team for them to be able to achieve their goals, So you ensure teams are empowered with the right resources and tools, so that they're able to self-organize. Self-organize will mean that, okay, they're independent, though they're multifunctional, they're working independently of um, um, being told what to do. You have a multifunctional team that's cross-disciplinary, different skills that are able to actually bring that project to life. Okay, so you're there in case they have any blockers, be it any impediments that might affect them being able to actually achieve their goals. You're there to actually help them sort it out. Being able to provide a sweet solution and making that available to them. Okay, so as a delivery manager, you should always manage your project in such a way that you are aware of whatever is going on within the project. So you're constantly liaising with either the project manager or the scrum master of each team. You're constantly liaising with the product owner, ensuring that whatever features they are doing, you're actually tracking progress of work, in such a way that it aligns with the organizational goal. I'll give you an example. For instance, now, let's say you're with an organization, okay, who chooses to increases their customer engagement, maybe through enhancing their digital their digital channels. Okay, so you would be meeting up with the product owner, ensuring that their backlogs are all prioritized within those projects, within the team, for them to be able to work on, let's say, features that they know will actually enhance customer experience, let's say on a mobile app, for instance, now. So you always have to ensure that the teams you're looking after are actually aligning towards the project goals as well. So as an ADM, you cannot run away from stakeholder management. You have to be able to build relationships. You have to be able to identify who the stakeholders are, build relationships with them in such a way that you're able to cultivate trust, have a good rapport with them, and you'll be engaging with them on a regular basis, so because you're constantly going to be keeping them abreast, having open and transparent conversations with them. You have to let them know where you are, at every step of time in your reports, what the projects are, where they are on their timeline, where they are on their scope, if they are meeting things. You have to keep them abreast on what is happening. And also, should you need any information from them, you're able to reach out to them to get such, especially if your team needs to clarify certain requirements, you are able to get through to them and ensure that happens. So managing their expectations, conflicts might arise in terms of, requirements that they might want to bring in. You being able to manage such situations, that is where your soft skills also comes in, and being able to relate with them as well. So your role also involves ensuring, while liaising with the stakeholders, your team, and the product owners, your scrum masters, you're aware of whatever risk, that might be coming up in terms of them not able to meet their deliverables. And in that way, you're able to plan for such risk when they are coming and be able to mitigate them. You should always have contingency plans in place for such things, and also ensure that your hello. Sorry, you talking to me? Can you hear me? Oh, sorry, I thought somebody was speaking. So for you to be able to do that, so the ADM is constantly collaborating with the teams and the stakeholders. First of all, they are defining clear quality standards and acceptance criteria for you to be able to meet the project deliverables. With that, you're able to ensure that the team is producing high quality standards. They are meeting their deliverables on time, ensuring that whatever they are delivering is of good quality as well. So in that process, you encourage continuous improvement, thereby encouraging the team to take ownership of what they are doing. You applaud them when they do well. You encourage them when they are not doing well. Continuous improvement. Agile, as we know it, is an inspect and adapt process. So it's a continuous learning process, both for the team and the stakeholders as well. Everyone is involved in learning, and we always take back feedback to which we improve ourselves on. And also ensuring that whatever is being created meets the compliance and regulatory requirements. So as an ADM, you need to be on top of all the legal aspects as well. So Agile Project Manager. Now, with an Agile Project Manager, you're responsible for overseeing and ensuring that successful delivery of your project. So you are involved from the initiation to the closure of a project, from the beginning of initiation down to you tracking every single thing, the scope, the timeline, the resources, the risks. You're constantly also involved in it and taking leverage of Agile to empower your teams so that you're all able to meet the goals. So responsibilities include project planning. So you being able to define the project scope and the deliverables, having a timeline set for every single thing, ensuring that you have the right skills right resources in place to carry them out, and ensure whatever you're planning, your schedules are actually realistic. So in Agile, we promote openness, we promote respect, we promote focus and value of people's time. So you always have to be realistic in whatever you're doing. There's no point you giving a timeline that you know you cannot meet. So it's always good to be open and realistic when doing your planning, project planning, and also continue to monitor the progress as well as you go along. So you assist also in setting. Please, if you're not can you mute, please? Someone keeps coming. So you're constantly collaborating with the PO and the stakeholders. You facilitate discussions, try to have effective communication on what is required. So understanding what the requirements are is always very important, so that you're all not working abreast. So ensuring that if you need clarity on anything, ensure that that is sorted out. You facilitate the meeting to ensure that you get the right requirements, and then you speak. You all meet together, and then you carry on. You get the right requirements for the team to be able to work with. So foster collaboration, progress reports, manage expectations, and constant feedback from the stakeholder also enhances how the team moves forward and how they all operate in achieving the goals. So as an APM as well, you're responsible, like I said earlier, to just give timely reports, ensure that you're identifying where there might be bottlenecks, where you see any risk coming up, you're able to set mitigation plans in place to ensure that you do not have impeccable effects on your timeline, or in terms of you delivering your projects at the end of the sprint or project timeline, whatever set goals you have for each timeline, that you're able to meet it. Okay, so leadership and empowerment as well. In Agile, you're seen as true leaders, so you encourage professional growth, you ensure that everyone is embedding the Agile mindset, abiding by the various Agile principles and values in carrying out your responsibilities as well. So for those of you that are Scrum Masters, you are responsible for facilitating the Scrum process. So the Scrum process, you should understand and know it as the back of your hand, because that process is actually there for you to support the team to be able to meet their goals at the end of the day. So as a Scrum Master, you're a true leader to the team, ensuring that you create an environment for the team to be able to collaborate effectively towards achieving their set goals. So you're there to ensure a healthy environment while embedding the Agile mindset and following the practices of the Scrum framework. So the Scrum framework, which you all are practicing now, has pillars that it's based on. Okay, so it's based on 3 pillars, and also it has 4 values that it's based on. So, which is you having to get the team to be focused, having respect for each team member, being courageous to be able to speak up, being open about whatever you're doing and whatever you're feeling. So you have to create an environment as a Scrum Master where your team are able to carry out those values. Carry out those values. So as a Scrum Master, your responsibilities. You're not just a facilitator, okay? So you will be there to organize the Scrum values. And as a facilitator, you're ensuring that everything is time boxed. You're not allowing people lose focus by not going over time on what they're supposed to do. Every single ceremony is time boxed. So you have to ensure that you're time boxing your events so that your team members are aware of, are aware. So you facilitate that. Apologies, please. I'm having a dry throat. So you own the process, that's the Scrum process. So you're the authority on that. You understand the Scrum framework. You're able to embed the agile mindset within your team. Agile mindset is actually based on 12 principles and 4 values as well. And one of them is actually interaction with people over processes and tools. So with that, you should be able to encourage your team, to be able to be open, be able to explain and demonstrate that to them. So once you leave those principles yourself, your team would follow. You should be able to shield them from interference. Interference could be external, it could be internal. External could be maybe from their stakeholders, internal could be from their teammates, whatever is not allowing the team to actually focus. External, maybe PO or stakeholders constantly bringing requirements. Internal, maybe you're not getting along. You should have a sixth sense to be able to sense when there's a conflict and be able to address it as well. So you ensuring that whatever interference is going on does not take your team's focus from whatever sprint goal or whatever goal they are trying to achieve at that particular time. So that's where you come in and ensure that you shield them from that as well. So you should be prepared to remove impediments by identifying and addressing those obstacles. When such impediments are there, though you are there to always help them, but we're trying to make them self-organize as well. So once an impediment is actually resolved, keeping an impediment log is a good idea for the team. So everyone is aware of where you can actually go should they be faced with such impediments in the future. And in that way, you're encouraging them to be able to solve problems themselves and resolve issues. And where they are not able to, you step in and also try to resolve those issues for them, be it issues of resources, be it issues that has to do with them trying to reach another team member or any blockage or dependencies that they might be having from other teams, being able to help them address that issue as well. So as a Scrum Master, you are expected to be the agile professor of your team. So you should be able to encourage them, coach them on all the various principles and values, both of Scrum and as Agile, and for Agile as a whole. You should be able to encourage continuous improvement, ensure your team are open to development, both self-development of themselves and as a group. Encourage them to be self-organized as well. So by doing that, you're making the team, you're empowering them, so to say. Your responsibilities also include onboarding. I'm so sure some of you would have done that already, whereby you're able to get your teams onto the project board, assessing your project board, ensuring they have the right tools, getting them information on the projects that they are working on, be it new members or existing members. So you've been able to welcome anyone onto the team and make them feel comfortable and making sure that they have the right tools that they need to actually work with. That is one of the roles you actually be doing as well. I think I spoke about conflict earlier. So conflict is inevitable. We are all, it's a group of people from different backgrounds, different religion, different social, emotional, backgrounds. So there is bound to be conflict, but you ensuring that such conflict does not affect the productivity of the team. Okay, so you should always ensure where such conflict arises that you listen. You're actively listening to both parties. You're very impartial to whatever is happening on, and ensuring that all members involved actually listen to one another. Because sometimes, in my experience anyway, the conflicts are usually misunderstood. Once you get to the bottom of it, is usually misunderstood. But ensuring that you create an environment whereby there are all parties involved are able to have active listening to one another, and then in a respectful manner, and you encourage everyone to do their best, So that is inevitable, but knowing how to handle the whole situation is also very important. So you will be supporting this product owner in terms of ensuring that you meet your goals. Like I said, always in an agile environment, you always work to align yourselves with the organizational goals. So whatever project you might be working on, ensuring that the product backlogs are always, the product goal is known, the product backlog is prioritized and arranged. Everyone, the PBIs are, sorry, somebody talking to me? Sorry, can you mute, please? So your PBI is arranged. That's your product backlog. Your user stories are prioritized according to what the requirements of the business and also what your goal is for the sprint. So, can you mute, please? So we're regarded as true leaders, and as a true leader, you are meant to create a healthy work environment for your team. For them to be very productive, they should be, feel comfortable in the environment they're working in. They should be able to come to you when they have issues. They should be open about whatever impediments they are going through. So if you create an environment where they're able to do that, your team will be productive and ensure that they're trying to meet their goals. You should always be show empathy. You never know what anyone is going through behind the workspace. So being able to use your sixth sense to understand, when a team member is not actually pulling their weight like they should, if they are no longer being as productive as they were, being able to understand and trying to find out what they're going through, or if they're suddenly finding such job difficult or don't actually have the right skill knowledge for it, being able to understand that and do that, and be able to talk to your team, ensure that they get the right help they need. If it's for you to offer them developmental courses, training, pair programming, whatever the individual might need. But you should be able to show your team that you're there for them, because once they know that they have your trust, they are able to come to you when they need to, and also you can when they need to, and also be able to carry out their work as they should. Team bonding is encouraged in that way. When you get to do your retro, or when you do your retro, you get to see it. Team bonding is encouraged. You should encourage getting to know your team as well, or as individuals, rather than, we know they are colleagues you're working, but getting to know them as individuals, ensuring that they are communicating with one another, being able to have a laugh, is also very good, and part of your responsibility as a Scrum Master. Oh, sorry. Okay, apologies, that slide just came. So, from going through the ADM, APM, and SM, you see that their roles kind of like overlap, and some organizations might interchangeably use such names for a particular role, but there are major differences in them, in as much as they all deal with stakeholders, they all deal with facilitation, they all deal with ensuring that backlogs are maintained, ensuring that goals are aligned. Their roles overlap, but there are major differences, and it's mainly with the scope. And that is because with the ADM, they work more on a broader level. They work with the whole organization, not just the multiple teams they are working with, but they tend to work on with the organizations. They tend to coach the much higher people, get them to enjoy and embed the agile mindset, and the APM usually work with individual projects. So that's where their scope lies. The SM is more of the process of Scrum. So as the name implies, Scrum Master. So they just mainly deal with the Scrum team, But overall, the role overlaps and it's pretty much less or the same in aspect, apart from the scope. So we'll talk to business analysts. So business analysts, they are practically responsible for articulating the needs of the business. So they tend to serve as the one who takes the requirements from them and actually breaks them down in a way that the team is able to work with it and produce the vision of the business. So they engage with the stakeholders and facilitate clear communication on effective communication on requirements that are needed by the business, and thereby they break up their stories and write their stories for them, for the team to work on. So responsibilities of a business analyst. They require their meeting with the stakeholders to gather requirements. Once they've gotten an understanding of that requirements, they do carry out market research on various requirements that has been given to ensure to look at how it is now and how they can actually improve on it. Then they tend to document all this analysis and pass it on to the business. Wherever they need to make any improvements are made on them. But they break down those requirements into stories that the team is actually able to work on. So with stakeholders, they are constantly meeting with them, ensuring that what the team is working on is what they are writing, ensuring that they have all the requirements that is needed, keeping them up to date as well, abreast on what is actually going on, where they are on the project. Should they need a change in request, they are able to meet them. So the constant communication and constant liaison with the stakeholder management, with the stakeholders is currently done with by the BAs throughout the project life cycle. So once all that is the needs are gotten, they translate them into requirements, like I said already. That is now given to the team, the development team, for them to process, which is the stories you guys have in the backlog now for all your projects. I believe your BAs have provided you with the PBIs that you need to work on for this sprint. So they are open to taking up change requests, like I mentioned earlier. Once all this is done, once they've been able to write the requirements and the development team have been able to work on it, at the end of it, they are required to actually test them. So they usually are the ones who conduct the UAT, them or the PO, and their role actually aligns with that of the PO as well. So, and they are constantly working with the PO to ensure that, the backlog is as needed. Once the development, any viable MVP, any MVP that has been created, they actually test it to ensure that it meets with the acceptance criteria for the team. So we have the testers, who are the quality assurance guys. They are the ones responsible to ensure that whatever has been worked on is of good quality. They meet the acceptance criteria, they meet the definition of done. So their primary objective is to detect defects, detect bugs, detect errors that could stop the team from delivering high quality at the end of the product. at the end of a sprint, whenever they're trying to deliver it. So they are responsible for testing, all the software, the products, the systems, to examine that each functionality that has been developed is free of errors. Okay, so they are responsible to review the user stories, which is why you always have them in your sprint planning, in your backlog refinement, to ensure that those stories are actually understood. They understand the acceptance criteria and every single definition of that particular PBI. They are constantly collaborating as well with the stakeholders when they meet during your sprint plan and your review, to ensure that there are requirements that they need when they are testing, they actually look out for. So while carrying out that, they write their test plans, before time. They develop a test strategy that they'll actually use to test those requirements, and they examine the functionalities to ensure that they're able to identify errors, able to identify any bugs that they might find. Once that is done, they ensure they communicate it with the developer, and once that has been fixed, they test it again to ensure that that has actually it has met the acceptance criteria and the definition of done for that particular story. So once that is done, they are also responsible for carrying out the regression testing, which is actually testing it out any enhancements that might have been made to the product to ensure that it's actually functioning as it should. So while carrying all this out, they're constantly documenting all their findings, ensuring that it's clear, and giving a report on all of them as well. And giving a report on them as well. So we come to the data analyst. I think that slide went too far. So we come to the data analyst. So data analysts, they are constantly monitoring, dealing with data. So they're there to actually ensure that, sorry, give me a minute. They are there. The data analyst is someone who collects, they clean and ensure that information is actually extracted from the various data that they get from different sources, so that they can be able to give, so that businesses and individuals that require such information are able to make informed decisions from that. So a data analyst is the professional who actually interprets that data, and you're responsible for carrying that out in various ways. So you collect your data by carrying out the data mining, collect your data from various sources, you sort and extract them, in a meaningful way, and then share them with the business. Share them with the business. So and share them with the business. So data analysis, you analyze your data sets, you uncover the different patterns from different sources, be able to take out what is not needed from the data, and also be able to interpret it in such a way that it's meaningful for the business to be able to make informed decisions with. Usually you create that using visual representations. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I know that some of them you're going to be using the PBI. You're going to be using, what's it called again? Tableau, or I don't know if you're using Tableau or not. But you'll be using various visual representation techniques to be able to visualize your data. I've seen some of you actually do very nice things with your teams already. So once your data is filtered, you're able to do that and then present it to your team. So you're also responsible to ensure that all data, meets compliance with the data privacy regulations and data governance. You're responsible for that. You're responsible for developing and maintaining your own database as well. Thank you. Yeah, that was the slide I was looking for. Oh dear. Apologies, everyone. I got my slides mixed up. So cybersecurity analysts, you guys play a critical role, in protecting us. You're kind of like the online police, we would say. You are online defenders against malicious attacks on our software devices, and you help us detect risks, threats to our devices before they actually occur, and you're able to respond to them quickly as well. So your responsibilities as an analyst, I guess you all know that already, will be to monitoring and incident reports. So you're constantly ensuring that the network traffic for security and incidents are known. You're monitoring the alerts. Once they come in, you're able to detect something is wrong. You investigate the incident and security breaches for any unauthorized access. You write an incident report on that, and then with the whole details, and then you carry on. So security infrastructure management, you install and operate firewalls, encryption of programs, you fix vulnerable, you develop and promote best practices for the information security within the organization. So threat research and risk assessment, you carry all that out. You understand the company's IT infrastructure. You conduct thorough threat research. You perform periodic risk assessments for every one of them, just to ensure that you're able to detect when a virus or some unauthorized access is, coming into the organization, and you're able to now identify such threats and be able to mitigate the risk of it actually causing any harm to either the devices or the software system or the server of the organization. So you should be constantly, because cyber threat is constantly evolving. So you should always educate your colleagues about it as well. Be aware of any training programs, any additional knowledge you need to get. Be constantly up to date with all the various threats and actions that might be required. Ensure that your team is promoting a culture whereby everyone is aware, they have the awareness of what is actually going on and what is happening within the organization in terms of them protecting their softwares that they have. So, yeah, I think I mentioned you to continue staying up to date and collaborating with other experienced colleagues as well. It will also keep you abreast of whatever is going on within the cyber world. So a brief summary of everything that we've done so far, or I've spoken on so far. The ADM, they are the Agile champions, they empower teams, they manage projects, they're constantly engaging with the stakeholders as well, and always being abreast of risk and trying to mitigate them as well. APMs, they are also agile experts. They define the project scope of and scope of projects and deliverables. They're constantly monitoring work in progress. They are true leaders as well. As a Scrum Master, you are aware of the Agile Scrum, you own the process, you're able to coach and mentor about it, facilitate it, encourage self-management among your team, and also shield your team from whatever any interference that they might be having as well. So in Agile, all roles, irrespective of what the role is, are the same. They are equally important. There is no hierarchy, which is one of the beautiful things of Agile. There is no hierarchy. Everyone's opinion matters. Everyone's engagement is important, and everyone is encouraged to be open and speak about it. So there is no hierarchy. So the BAs as well, they are the ones who gather the requirements. They're able to interpret it. They collaborate effectively with both the stakeholders and the team, ensuring that the requirements are broken down in such a way that everyone understands. They're constantly giving progress reports, and they tend to check the UAT to ensure that all is working well. So the DAs, they are the master interpreter of all data. So they ensure that they collect them, they're able to source them, identify which is meaningful and which is not, using their various data analysis techniques, and able to give us informed information from those data that what people are able to use to make informed decisions. So they report as well. And the cyber guys monitor and analyze security systems. So they're constantly creating their incident reports and management. They develop security plans and protocols to ensure that everyone is safe. So thank you. If you have any questions now, please shoot.
Yeah, thank you, Vivian. Thank you so much. Well done. I would like to know what is APM? I know ADM. What's APM and how is it different from ADM? Yes, thank you.
They all had okay, I thought I had it all in full there. APM is Agile Project Manager. So, and Agile Delivery Manager. So Agile project managers actually work directly on projects. They work with the project from the beginning, from the initiation stage to actually get to the end. So they are there from the planning, the implementation, and the deployment. So they concentrate more on the project life cycle and ensure that everything that is needed for the project is done. They're tracking the budget, the resources, all that is required for the project to actually come to life. Delivery manager, they own the delivery process. So they are mainly more interested that the projects that are being worked on are actually delivered, and not just delivered, they are delivered timely and in good quality. So that is just the major difference. So ADM tend to work with multiple teams working on the project or on different projects. So they're ensuring that those teams are delivering timely and effectively. I don't know if that's
thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you so
much. Okay.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, please, I have a question. Business analyst, is it same title as operations analyst and technical analyst?
Is it the same title?
Yes.
Okay, so that depends on the organization. Okay, so it depends on the organization and what they tend to call it. But if you're talking about operations analyst and what was the other one? Technical analyst, you said? So usually when they are looking for technical analyst or technical BA, They want somebody that have like a technical background in terms of them understanding how what they're trying to develop works. So them being able to know if it's like a software now, being able to have an idea of all the languages or what's it called? All the languages or tools that they might be using, you know. So that's where when you tend to get them say technical on it. Operation analysts. I'm not too sure about that one, so I can't really give an answer on that one. But I can find out for you. Or allow me, if allow me here has an idea of the operations analyst, because I know they tend to use various names depending on the industry. So, but not to confuse you, I'm not sure what the operations one is. So I won't give an answer to what I don't know. If that's okay.
Thank you so much.
Mhm. Any other question? Allow me. She's still recording. Oh, who's recording?
Hi, I heard my name, sorry.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Please go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
Please,
operation analyst. Sorry. Oh, I'm still sharing.
Okay, sorry, please. I just want to ask a question.
That's fine.
Yeah. Is there any other name for Agile Delivery Manager? One, or are there different types of Agile Delivery Manager?
No, an ADM is an ADM. So Agile Delivery Manager is Agile Delivery Manager. So you're basically, it's a role. When you're saying, are there any names? Usually when you look at the responsibilities or why they are using that particular name, is usually in the role specification of the job. So you'll be able to identify what exactly they are calling. Because like I said earlier, most of these names might be used interchangeably in depending on the company or depending on the organization that is actually looking for that employment. But Agile Delivery Manager, you're there to come and ensure that delivery is made on multiple teams while they're aligning those project goals with the organizational goals. So Agile Delivery Manager is Agile Delivery Manager. But in some cases, like if you have like an organization whereby they don't have a Scrum Master, remember I said the roles, they overlap. So you can act as a Scrum Master, you can act as an Agile Project Manager as well. But once the role says ADM, it's ADM. That's okay. Is that clear? Okay.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Adekunle?
Yes, you have answered me just now.
Oh, your hand is up, that's why.
I'll push it down now.
Okay. Any more questions? Is everybody fine? Lami, are you there? Can she stop recording or she's recording?